smiling. He loves his job, I suppose. Welcome, Danny, back.
Thank you very much. Definitely smiling, yeah.
Yeah, you already watched some uploaded videos?
Yeah, the incredible thing is that we're halfway through watching all the videos, or the interviews rather. The interviews have been watched, and we've gone into live interviews as the head judges just to spectate and encourage our judges. And the incredible thing is, I'm smiling because when they see the face, it's my face on screen. They are smiling, and the other thing is they're also smiling because the whole process is working. You know, we've had to reschedule one interview only out of 35 odd. And yes, interviews are done, being uploaded for rewatching for deliberation, and obviously the scoring has started. You know, so interviews that are done now, the scoring has already been done online.
And I suppose open category also is, for me, a miracle, but there might happen also unexpected things. And I suppose we have also prepared a film which we may take a look at now.
Absolutely, yeah. Wind search from Russia, methinks.
We team from Russia, and today we will show you our project Wind Search. The strength and direction of the wind is influenced by many factors: the property of the relief, vegetation, and microclimate of the area as a whole. Finding the optimal place to install the wind generator can be a difficult task, especially if territory is poorly explored, for example, in the condition of an expedition. The aim of the project is to automate the process of such a search.
So to do that, we built a system that consists of 3 robots: wind searcher that searches wind, main robot installer, and wind generator, and 3 non-robotic systems: air generator, air compressor platform that can change direction of the wind, main computer which calculates everything, and quadcopter, which is in our case just floating camera. And the first robot to act is wind searcher.
So wind searcher acts first. Its task is to find out the best place to install the wind generation. To do that, it goes through the entire field length and find out the best place to install and many powerful winds.
After that, it goes in the direction of the wind, and goes until it can't even understand. Thus, our optic encoder rotates. After that, it shows up pink marker, and computer detects it and gives instructions to the main robot to go to the same place and install wind generator. It follows the path that wind searcher used, and to do it in the most accurate way, it used computer vision provided by OpenCV library. Wind generator itself has a special drill, which drills into the ground, and it guarantees that it won't topple over. Also, it has a propeller that can convert wind energy into the rotation force, and electromotor, which can convert rotation force into electro energy. As you can see, it's drilling to the ground right now. After that, main robot goes from them to the beginning spot, and as you can see, electro energy in the wind generator goes to the blue LED light, and robot can detect it. And if there is no light, it means that there is no wind, and we can't generate energy anymore. So let's imagine that wind changed its directory. It means that there is no wind anymore, and wind generator shows up orange mark. Computer detects it and gives instructions to the main robot to take it from this place. It rotates from the another side and goes to this orange marker. As I said before, it used the previous path and corrects with the computer vision. It lines up with the orange marker and tries to take it. The wind generator itself has a special encoder which could be rotated by main robot. If it do it, wind generator understands that it needs to drill out from the ground to make possible to take it from this place. That's it. After that, it brings its marker to the previous position, and the entire system goes to its beginning spots. As you can see right now, it rotates to its previous position and goes. The entire project has been coded by using Python. And to connect EVO3 controllers and Python, we have EVO3 Dev special framework. As you can see, our system went back to their previous position and ready to do the task again.
That's not all we would like to tell you about our project, but if you have any questions, we will answer them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was a very, very impressive presentation. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to open the floor up to the judges for questions and answers. Mylene, would you like to start? Or would we leave it to Mylene? Would you like to ask a question? No. Okay. Katie?
I can't. I'm not supposed to. It's
Oh,
only
sorry.
the judges.
Apologies. Apologies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm just observing. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Sorry. Apologies.
Yes. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
So thank you for the presentation. It was really exciting. I do have a question, or even more, because it's so interesting, your project. Does the robot also use existing wind data? For example, you know that from meteorology, they gather wind data and there exists the database. So is that interesting for your robot? So that the robot could use existing data and not searching the wind. What do you think about that?
Right now we have just a flat floor without any relief, so we don't use any databases. But and as my teammate said before, we use the system in the conditions when the landscape is poorly explored. So actually, right now we don't use any databases to check our landscape.
Okay, and could you imagine that if your robot, your wind searcher, has found an area where the wind is very strong and you could put the wind generator, could you imagine that you gather these data and feed the database with these data for future use? Is that an idea?
At first, I'd like to say about that we have a six omni-wheel platform on a wind searcher. So it is very possibility car, so it won't topple over, never, because it could slide to the right to or left, so it won't topple over. And a second, a couple of seconds. So also, as I said before, we have optic encoder. So we can check the speed of the wind, because the speed of the wind matters how fast optic encoder rotates.
Mm-hmm. It's not exactly the answer to my question, but thank you. Have you heard about mobile wind generators? So you have built a wind generator, but you may know from your research that there are also existing mobile wind generators. Could it be also a solution to use the mobile existing wind generators for your wind searcher instead of building your own wind generator? So that would maybe easier?
We actually built an entire platform which called Move It, because if we build just another platform to move wind generator, it could move only one propeller to generate energy. But in our case, we have two cases to place into them wind generators. So we actually upgrade the the existing concept of mobile generators.
Yeah, being in this competition online, oh, problems. You might succeed with your robot, and then you have Zoom and you have the microphone and everything to do. I suppose this is also a challenge for the children, Danny.
Very much so. In this particular case, this interview started 4 minutes late because they couldn't get their microphones to work and had two devices. So judges were very patient. And they still got their 10-minute presentation. But I mean, absolutely an incredible project. You know, very technical and very clever. And yeah, from a winch search perspective, 3 models that talk to each other, save data for future. And I mean, take a portable wind generator out there, find the wind, place it there temporarily, because maybe through the seasons the wind changes and they have to put it somewhere else. You know, so a lot of thought into that, and obviously the builds were incredible. What we do miss in this particular case of where we are in this time is the judges would have loved to have touched and been much closer and looked inside those robots and turn a propeller so that they can physically see it. But for where we are, incredibly presented.
Yeah, this is also a challenge for the judges. Don't forget, we organize the studio. We are lucky to meet each other here, but also the judges need to have a computer, need to know how Zoom conferences work. They need enough speed in the internet, which depends sometimes on on what happens around. So doing an online competition really is something, to my mind, adorable. I can't stop to tell you, 217 teams, over 800 young persons in the challenge between 8 and 19. How many judges are working?
There are 30 judges for these 54 teams, of which each presentation, as you saw in the interview, is there are 3 judges present with an interview host. And the other interesting thing is, of course, there's technicality in that. It's something which we didn't practice. You know, you as a moderator were also practicing a little bit and slightly prepared. The interview host, there's a waiting room, which is the main Zoom room, and they actually set up 2 breakout rooms. And then the team comes in and they move into a breakout room. The judges are in another breakout room. Because while the one team is being judged by the judges all in one room, another team comes in, goes into the second breakout room, and they set up and wait for the judges then to move from one breakout room to the other. And I have to commend my interview hosts who've never done this before for actually managing through a little hitch or two, but really getting it right.
Adorable. And thank you to the judges in your open category, and to all the judges in the whole WRO competition this year. Online is sometimes, to my mind, also very hard to handle. But this is the only chance to do it, and we are very happy that we can share all the experiences and all what we see with you as the spectators. So invite your friends and family and neighbors to watch today and tomorrow the challenges. It would be nicer to come together at one place. All over the world, you know, we had competitions live in Hungary and in a lot of different countries. But online is also something really very important. So join us, watch us, because we are looking at the clicks and we are hoping at the visitors counting at the internet. And it motivates us if a lot of you come to see us. So share it with everybody, please. Danny, what will happen next for you?
Well, we go and, as head judges and judges, we make sure that the scoring is happening. And then the judges are preparing, and the teams again now, for the last 2 rounds. There's another round of 3 hours this afternoon, and then another round of 3 hours tomorrow for the rest of the teams. But the relief now is we know that the system is working. You know, everybody's finding the right Zoom rooms, etc., etc. Sometimes we have had an open category team end up in a future engineer's Zoom room. But you know what? We've got to encourage them to make sure they read their documents and find the right Zoom room. But from that perspective, the system is running really nicely. So we hope and pray that it completes so that we can absolutely have all the scores in before we rank and deliberate tomorrow.
Yeah, technique is wonderful, and Zoom rooms and
Breakout rooms, yeah.
breakout rooms and contact. And the young team we listened came from Russia. They don't speak in their mother tongue. This is what I adore too. It was a junior class from Russia. Their mother tongue is Russian, and they can explain in English. So I suppose also for the idea of future career, if you start very early training your language, I suppose it would be very much easier to compete all the situations in life.
Absolutely.
Maybe in school, maybe in concurrence to other employees who want to get the job. And I suppose learning to win and fail is the same a little bit like in sports. If you fail, you have the next chance. It might be in the next year or afterwards, or it might be also in another category. I'm quite sure those from the regular category, very young, perhaps start next time in the open category, because it's very much more open for all the ideas.
Very much so. So from the problem solving of robotics, okay, and to a theme, and also if you manage those, then you're going to manage learning a different language a lot better. And the mindset that you have that it's only a challenge, it's not, you are going to overcome it. And that kind of mindset obviously is very, very beneficial for you going into your career and into your life as you get older.
Yeah, on the one hand, and please invite also your parents or the directors of the companies where your parents are working, because cool ideas.
Very much so.
Temporary wind collectors.
Yes.
Very cool. So stay with me a moment, because the next talk will be to Alex in Russia with Zoom video, and the question is whether Alex is already there, or I may talk also with Danny. Ah, cool.